I've met people that were my heroes before and been kind of let down. You think, oh God, they don't live up to the hype.
Pourquoi t'es revenu pour eux? Tu la connais, Tyler?
À la fin du premier film, on croyait tous que votre personnage était mort. Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé?
So in the original script, he died. Sam and I thought that was a perfect end to the emotional arc, the redemption tale that he was experiencing, and so we riddled him with bullets and he was a piece of Swiss cheese falling off that bridge, never to return. Then the studio said, we've been looking at some of the footage and we think this is pretty special and audiences may want another one. We should give ourselves the opportunity or the chance to do that. So we shot a little piece in the end of the film was a blurry, out of focus figure. And I'm glad we did, because the first film I'm so proud of, action-packed, but the emotional component was visible, but in smaller detail, and really only one scene when we got to understand who the character was and what drove him. So this felt like an opportunity to have an origin story again, I guess. The hardest thing with doing a sequel is, the arc, the sort of the hero's journey as a broken individual needs to overcome the challenges and learn what it is to be the hero and accept who he is. We didn't really complete that in the first film, so we had the chance to carry it on and understand why he left his child, what happened, the loss of the child, the wife, the family elements, and then the integration of the emotional components being stronger with the action both complement each other. The action means something now because you're invested in the character emotionally. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of noise and visual effects and so on.
Parfois, en guise d'arme, vous utilisez des jouets en caoutchouc, c'est vrai?
It depends what you're doing. So different countries have different laws about weapons and so on. And India had very strict laws. So they were rubber replicas of those guns. We shot some of it in Thailand where we had a little more allowance to use, proper weapons that would have a proper muzzle flare and you'd see the rounds coming out the side of the gun, the chamber and so on. In this film, Czech Republic was, pretty open with what we could use. I mean, they're all, the guns they're replicas still, although they're real weapons that have been altered so you could never actually fire a proper bullet out of them. And then the stunt scenes, we would have rubber weapons, so in case we were to kind of hit each other and so on, we're not killing one another.
C'est toujours un défi pour vous, les scènes d'action, parce que vous en faites tellement?
It's always challenging, yeah, especially something like this. Like, if you shoot something traditionally, you have 4 or 5 cameras on it, and I could literally, walk through the scene now, shoot it from one angle, make a mistake, shoot it from another angle, whereas the way Sam shoots, a lot of it is one shot. It's one camera. That takes weeks and weeks, if not months, of rehearsals and prep time. The stakes are higher because if, you might do a 2-minute sequence and everything be perfect, and then there's one punch that misses from a certain angle, you gotta go back and start again. But the reward is so much greater. I think it gives the action sequences an authenticity and a grounded nature and a truth that the audience respond to. I think we've all become very numb with the amount of visual effects and post-production that comes into play now. And you see actors standing on a green screen and they're pretending to be exhausted and it just doesn't have the same truth. Whereas this, we're huffing and puffing and we're sore and we're cold and we're tired and there's no acting required. And so it is as close to real as you're going to get for that situation.
Vous venez de tourner le prochain Mad Max. Est-ce que c'est vrai que c'est le rôle le plus cool que vous ayez jamais fait?
Yeah, I love George Miller. That was probably the most special experience in my career just because he's so iconic. I've met people that were my heroes before and been kind of let down. You think, oh God, they don't live up to the hype. Whereas this individual is above and beyond anything I could have hoped and dreamed for. Where he pushed me to go with this character, the exploration I was allowed to have during the experience was really reinvigorated my passion for doing this. I was pretty exhausted going into the film and was a little concerned I was going to be able to get through it. But from day one, it just sparked my imagination, the sort of childlike wonder and fascination with telling stories and art and acting and performance that I had when I first began. So.